Hello, this is History Shorts with the Artifactual Scholar. Today, I'll be talking about the post-presidential career of John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams is perhaps best known as the sixth president of the United States. Like his father, John Adams, the second president, John Quincy was a one-term chief executive. Prior to becoming president in 1825, John Quincy Adams had served as a diplomat, senator, and one of our greatest secretaries of state. Adams won the presidency in the hotly contested election of 1824, defeating Andrew Jackson and others. As president, he attempted to pursue an ambitious, forward-looking program of public works improvements, natural conservation, and technological and scientific study and advancement. His opponents in Congress stymied most of those plans. In 1828, in what many historians consider to be one of the dirtiest political campaigns in American history, Adams was defeated in his re-election bid by Andrew Jackson. After leaving office in March 1829, Adams returned home to Quincy, Massachusetts, expecting to spend a quiet retirement surrounded by books and family. But the following year, 1830, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, becoming the first, and so far only, former president elected to the House. During the decades prior to the Civil War, the great political and social debate in the United States was about slavery. In 1836, powerful Southern politicians in the House had instituted a gag rule that prevented any discussion of slavery. Adams, now in his third term as congressman and a staunch opponent of slavery, ferociously objected to this rule. For the next 8 years, Adams fought against the gag rule, arguing that it violated the right to free speech. Risking censure, he repeatedly introduced anti-slavery petitions and proposed legislation to limit the extent of slavery. His vocal opposition and position as senior statesman in the House gained him the nickname Old Man Eloquent, and in 1844 he gained enough support to finally revoke the gag rule. During his struggle against the gag rule, Adams was a central participant in the celebrated Amistad case. Enslaved Africans aboard the Spanish slave ship Amistad rebelled and took control of the vessel. When the ship was captured in Long Island Sound in 1839, a protracted legal battle over the status of the Africans began. In 1841, the case appeared before the Supreme Court of the United States. Adams spoke on behalf of the Africans and ultimately helped them establish their freedom. By the mid-1840s, tensions between the United States and Mexico were increasing. Many in Congress and across the country were calling for war. Adams stood steadfastly against that opinion. He saw any war against Mexico as an unjust war of aggression, unbefitting a republic. Despite this opposition, the United States declared war on Mexico in 1846. In February 1848, the Mexican War ended in a U.S. victory. As the House was considering a motion to award honors to successful generals of the war, Adams stood up to voice his negative vote. Shortly thereafter, he suffered a cerebral stroke and collapsed to the ground. His colleagues carried the former president to the Capitol Rotunda, then to the Speaker's chamber. There, John Quincy Adams lingered in a coma for 2 days. He died on February 23, 1848. Adams's death brought the nation together in mourning. On February 26, a funeral was held in the House chamber, followed by a procession of mourners and government figures that accompanied the deceased to his initial resting place. One of the members of the Committee of Arrangement for the funeral was a relatively unknown congressman from Illinois named Abraham Lincoln. Adams was temporarily placed in a vault at the Congressional Cemetery in Washington, D.C., before being moved to the family burial plot in the Hancock Cemetery in Quincy, Massachusetts. In 1852, after his wife Louisa's death, John Quincy was moved to the crypt of the United First Parish Church beside his parents and wife. John Quincy Adams was a giant figure in the story of the early American Republic. He spent most of his life in the service to his nation as a diplomat, legislator, and president, and was one of the last links to the Revolutionary era. Though a flawed president, he was nonetheless one of the more influential political figures of 19th century America. This has been History Shorts. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.